Japan, Singapore, and Korea are the first countries that come to mind when we think of the most innovative countries in Asia. With the success of their big infrastructure projects, China is now on the same level as these countries in terms of development. This has made China a well-known rising global force. In today's video, we'll learn about China's longest underwater tunnel and how its engineering is so impressive that it's a breakthrough in Chinese infrastructure. Here is China's newest tunnel under the sea, the shocking Taihu Tunnel. This year, China's longest underwater highway started letting cars drive on it. The road is 10.97 kilometers long, took almost 4 years to build, and used more than 2 million cubic meters of concrete. It is 17.45 meters wide and has 6 lanes. It cost 9.9 billion yuan, which is about $1.5 billion US dollars. It is expected to bring in a lot of money for the country and would be a show of strength for the country as it becomes a global powerhouse. It goes 10 meters under Lake Taihu in Jiangsu province in eastern China. It gives people traveling between Shanghai and Nanjing, the capital of Jiangsu, an alternative route. Compared to the longest and deepest subsea tunnel in the world, the Ryfast Tunnel in Norway, which is 14.4 meters long and has 2 lanes, the Taihu Tunnel is over 3 meters shorter, but it is wider because it has 6 lanes. It is part of the 43.9-kilometer Changsha-Wuxi Highway, which opened to the public on December 20, 2021. The tunnel is meant to reduce the amount of traffic in the cities near Lake Taihu and help the cities in the Yangtze River Delta area grow economically. From the way it looks, you can tell that this tunnel is meant to make people's lives easier. For example, the ceiling has a set of multicolored LED lights that are meant to keep drivers from getting tired. It also has automatic steel processing equipment and an intelligent system that makes sure no sewage or dust gets out. Keeping the tunnel from leaking was the main engineering concern when it was being built. But the contractor came up with a smart way to fix the problems with a real-time monitoring system for pouring concrete and making high-quality cement. The building of this tunnel has been planned since 1994. With a budget of $10,000. However, for the past 20 years, it has only been in the planning stage. The plan worked out in the end, thanks to efforts to make the tunnel watertight and the use of high-tech tools to dig up to 4 meters below the lake. The 16-meter-long excavator is said to be made in China, so they don't need any tunneling equipment made in another country. You might wonder how the environment is affected by the new ways of doing things. Well, as engineers, they went the extra mile to get rid of pollution caused by dust and noise. They ran a cement mixing plant that was completely enclosed, used trucks that were better for the environment, and replaced diesel pile hammers with hydraulic pile hammers that were half as loud. You might be wondering where the $45.5 billion came from, since the Taihu Tunnel only costs $1.5 billion to build. Well, China has started more big infrastructure projects, and one of them is building the country's longest tunnel in Beijing. China has one of the largest high-speed rail networks in the world, and it's hard to say how far it will go since they're still trying to get to the farthest part of their country. A 2014 article in the Beijing Times said that China is looking to the future when they say they want to make their train go farther, from mainland China up to eastern Russia, through the Bering Strait into Alaska, across the peaks of Canada and British Columbia's Yukon Territory, and into the US through the Bering Sea, The dream is nothing short of grand. If you think that's the end of progress, you'd be wrong. China wants to expand their bullet train all over the US, which will cost a mind-boggling $200 billion. In return, trade, tourism, and economic growth are expected to grow. The 8,000-mile superrailways need an underwater tunnel that is 4 times as long as the world's longest underwater tunnel, which goes from the UK to France. Do you agree that China is very brave? Their government has already given permission for underwater bullet trains to run between the port city of Shanghai and the east coast of China through a 77-kilometer tunnel that goes 16.2 kilometers deep into the sea and a magnetic track that is used for a high-speed maglev train. For this project to be built, a method that wasn't used in the building of the Channel Tunnel has to be used. So, this project will probably be futuristic and out of this world. Another project to build an underwater tunnel is also moving forward. This one might even be longer than the one in Shanghai. The tunnel will connect the ports of Yanchi and Dalian under the Bohai Sea. It will be 123 kilometers long, which is longer than 2 of the world's longest underwater tunnels. When it's done, it will cost $42.4 billion. This project will help with traffic and cut down on travel time, which takes between 7 and 8 hours right now. With this tunnel in place, it will take about half an hour less time to get from one place to another. But for this project to work, Chinese engineers will have to go along 2 fault lines that have caused many earthquakes in the past century and are close together, making them more likely to cause tsunamis. Hundreds of thousands of people died in the Tianjin earthquake in 1976, and a 7.5 magnitude earthquake also hit the bay in 1969. A Chinese professor said that the walls of the tunnel must be so strong that they can withstand an earthquake with a magnitude of 8. If this project works out, it will be a major engineering achievement for sure. Before putting the tunnel plan into action, a thorough survey of the area must be done. Chinese engineers with their years of experience building underwater tunnels can help with this. The plan seems like it could work. In the past, people have built tunnels like the Jiasu Tunnel and the Xiamen Tunnel that worked well. The Tahu Tunnel is the most recent one. All of these projects use the cut and cover method, which is the standard way to build an underwater tunnel. With this method, a trench is dug in the seabed and pieces of steel or concrete are put in it. Divers join the pieces together and seal them. Then, the water is pumped out of the new channel, and the rock is put on top of the tube's upper part. Even though the Bohai Tunnel is 20 times longer using the cut and cover method, it might work because the depths of Jiasu Bay and Bohai Bay are the same. Equipment that was used to build China's previous underwater tunnels may not be good enough for the tunnel. But it will only be possible if the seabed is soft enough to let a huge machine dig a tunnel through it. This is also dangerous, especially when the hardness of the rock changes, which is another reason why it is no longer used in Japan. This huge plan needs a lot of money and a team of hardworking people. It will definitely boost economic interest and make it easier to get around in China. When things start to get better in the future, it might be a good idea to strengthen China's international relationships with the West as it pushes forward with its long, powerful railroads that reach as far as Russia, Canada, and every corner of the US. Do you like what China wants to do to improve its economy and make life easier for its people? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below.